Reigns for the elf kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. That is a poem in this book, The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Kind of giving a little background about some of the stuff going on there. Lord of the Rings is the sequel to The Hobbit. And basically, in Lord of the Rings, Frodo Baggins, the cousin of Bilbo Baggins, along with his friend Samwise Gamgee, was Frodo's cousins, Pippin Took and Merry Brandybuck, have to go to Rivendell, this elf place, to go to this meeting thing about the ring Frodo has. That turns out to be the One Ring, which is a very bad thing, created by this guy, Sauron here. You can see it a little bit. That is basically was a ring he made so he could have power over the other rings of power. 3 were given to the elves, and 7 to the dwarf lords, and 9 to mortal men. So basically, a little background information on the ring. He created that, as I said, to control those rings, and he was trying to take over Middle-earth at the time. And on their way there, or more like during the meeting and on the way there, they meet a couple people. They meet this guy, Aragorn, who is the heir of Isildur, who was the guy who kind of killed Sauron when he looked like the other thing from that I showed you. And when he looked like that, basically Isildur cut off his finger that had the ring and took it for himself. Not a smart idea. We have Legolas Greenleaf, the son of Thranduil, the king of Mirkwood. Gimli, a dwarf, who is related to Gloin from The Hobbit. Boromir, the son of Dethnor, who is the steward of Gondor, that Aragorn is the true king of. And Gandalf. They are all a part of the Fellowship. And basically the main point of the whole book, one of the main points, because I don't want to spoil stuff, is that they have to go and destroy the One Ring. And they need to go to Mordor to do that. The other thing is, consider this a condensed summary, a little bit more on the first book, because there's too many things that go on in all 3. Too many battles, too many characters to name, a lot of death happens and a lot of battling happens. And then we have my 5 facts, which is, well, Lord of the Rings takes place 60 years after The Hobbit, if you couldn't guess by the way Bilbo looked in that picture. He's old. He's got gray hair now. And Sauron has returned to Middle-earth to take it over like he was trying to do before, and he's after his ring and everything. It's just a lot of bad stuff, and this is how he ends up looking. A giant eye thing of creepiness. And also, Sauron somehow bound, as far as I understand, bound a part or bound his actual soul with the One Ring. So when the ring starts messing with your mind, because people get really obsessive over the ring when they've had it for a while. So they kind of just go, oh, not so, and it's probably because a part of Sauron, this evil dude, is in it. The other thing is that the One Ring eventually, during the Fellowship of the Ring, starts to kind of tempt Boromir a little. He was already tempted before to use it as a weapon, bring it back to Gondor with him, but he doesn't realize that that's a really bad idea, dude. You don't want the ring. My other one is that Gollum, who you see in The Hobbit as just this terrible creature, was once a Hobbit type creature, like the beginning of The Hobbits, and he looked like this, and how he found the ring. He was fishing with his cousin Deagle on his birthday, and Deagle found the ring, and Gollum's like, "Give that to me, it's mine." When his cousin refused, he choked his cousin to death because he was already corrupted by the ring towards the end. And why did I like Lord of the Rings? Well, I liked Lord of the Rings because it's kind of what set off the fantasy genre, and it's a good book. It's a huge adventure. Sure, and towards the end there are a lot of emotional moments within what's left of the Fellowship, because they're all friends, and just from the friendship you kind of get what they're feeling, and a lot of good stuff happens. Why I did not like it? Well, it's a huge book. If you can't already tell, it is huge. Just a really long story, and so many things happen. It's just long. But that's also what makes it such a good book, because of how long it is. Who I would recommend this to? Anyone who likes fantasy in general. And just because, well, it's the first thing. And to anyone who has read The Hobbit, because it is the darker sequel to that book meant for children. I would also recommend it to anyone who has seen the Lord of the Rings movies or plans to, so they can compare, see what was left out, see what's different between the two. Just because it's interesting to see what how it was adapted, and pretty much that's it, really. And just all I have to say is just read if you like fantasy, or you've seen the movies, you've read The Hobbit, or you plan on seeing any of those movies. Just read the books; they are just amazing. So goodbye.